when I first came to the mill, I joined I was a member. That was my first introduction to the mill. Like a lot of people in Bloomington, I'd been working from my home office during the pandemic, and towards the end of the pandemic, I was kind of tired of working from my house, so I actually joined the mill and became really intrigued by the community, the energy, the connectedness to other people who were doing creative work. And that's how I really was introduced to the whole concept of the ecosystem that we were trying to build in Bloomington. Then, once I had an opportunity to join the mill as the senior vice president for innovation, strategic partnerships, that really developed into a whole different relationship with the community that we were building. A big part of my original role was to focus on the trades district, to focus on developing the forge, and these external kind of partnerships to promote an innovation-based economy for the trades district. But that naturally connects to a much larger exercise in terms of working from a regional perspective, a city of Bloomington perspective. And so a lot of the work I was already doing just felt like a natural evolution into a broader leadership role. For me personally, what got me excited about moving into a CEO role is just a firm belief that Bloomington is a place with tremendous potential. We have a lot of assets in this area that should lead to a very vibrant, growing economy, a very vibrant community where people are inspired to do creative work, to create companies, to create products, to create art, to just have a really good life. And I've always felt like we've been, slightly underperforming, to be honest. And so to have an opportunity to kind of take the mill to the next level, to take Bloomington and work with our external partners to get our community to the next level, it's just something I feel pretty strongly about. I'm pretty passionate about it. I love this place, but I want it to be better. Well, I think the uniqueness is based on, we have a tier 1 university. We have this exceptional global leading center of research. There's incredible talent coming out of the schools, the faculty, the research that's happening within all the different centers. I think the proximity to a very serious naval research center to the south does create a unique combination of innovation assets, and then proximity to the airport, to the larger capital city. All those things are comparative advantages. I think what makes Bloomington a little bit unique is the vibe. Historically, we've always had a little bit of an edge as a community. We joke about it, about how, Bloomington is where the, tech and the arts abide, but I think that's true. And to me, I think that's a super important part of our identity, is that yes, we have interesting companies that are developing breakthrough technologies, companies with phenomenal growth potential. But then there's this other side of Bloomington, and it's not even the other side. I think they're like interconnected, is where you have that kind of creative community where the creatives and the technical come together. It creates a very interesting mix from an interdisciplinary perspective. And I think that's where some of the most cool innovation comes from, is that intersection of different disciplines. But I think that's kind of our vibe, is a little bit unique and something that we can certainly build on. Well, I don't know if there's one. I just think getting greater alignment with many of the civic leaders, the business leaders, getting people to buy into a much more ambitious Bloomington, if you will. That's what I get excited about. And I think there's some real momentum for that. Where people are, I think they understand the challenges we face as a community in terms of professional opportunities, economic growth, population challenges. I think there's a sense of recognition that being good enough isn't good enough, that we have to aspire to much better and to become the kind of world-class community that we always want to be. But I guess to your question, though, I think I am excited about, the trades district as a physical place. I get really excited about, because I think we need that kind of identity, that space that kind of just says everything that we're trying to do in terms of a brand. So if we have a unique neighborhood that has a unique identity that really speaks to a demographic of creatives who want to build things here, who want to build this brand for Bloomington, I think there's so much potential to build that kind of dynamic neighborhood that serves as a connector to other parts of Bloomington, whether it's the campus, whether it's core downtown, the west side, but also as a hub that connects to our regional partners as well, and becomes a real connection of the larger regional economy where people can convene here, where it just becomes the place that everybody wants to be because it's an interesting, energetic, place that you can connect with other folks with interesting ideas. Yeah, I mean, I think the membership of the Mill has always been a core asset, a very important part of the work of building an ecosystem, because it's not about buildings, it's not about real estate, it's about people. And so having a healthy mix of folks who might be remote workers, folks who are developing their own ideas, entrepreneurs, folks who are just visiting, that creates that creative collision that happens really on a daily basis at the Mill, that gives it the energy and the spark that people need to feel inspired about the work they're doing, but also about the community that they're a part of and they're building. So the members are really important to our work, and we want to continue to make sure that we're listening to them, that we're delivering value. So you're not just getting a desk, but you're connecting into a much larger platform that can support you in whichever role you're filling in terms of the work you do or the company you're trying to create. I would say that this is a really good place to do it. The more that we can build a network of founders, people you can learn from, people who can help solve problems, people that might be able to connect you to larger networks to open up sales channels. I mean, that's really what we're trying to sell here. Again, it's not about real estate, it's about relationships, it's about the kind of support you need as a founder, because it can be a pretty lonely gig. And so if there's other people that can be a part of your team, your extended team, I think you're going to find that in Bloomington, you're going to find that at the Mill. And that's, I think, a very important part of our value proposition. Yeah, I've always wanted to push things forward. I've never been very much of a status quo kind of person. Every organization I've been in, I've wanted to be a change agent. Certainly in the leadership roles I've had at a higher level, they've all been very innovation driven, whether it was from civic innovation to legal innovation to business innovation. It's all, to me, kind of the same thing as trying to push forward, a truly kind of progressive mindset of making things better, improving upon what you may already inherit as part of an organization, but constantly driving change and trying to make things great. Oh, I don't know if there's one. I mean, I've always, not to sound trite, but I've always tried to hire people that are smarter than me. I know I'm not the smartest guy in the room. The smartest person in the room is the room. Surrounding yourself with talented people who have a lot of expertise beyond your own, and then bringing all those different expertise together in a way that creates a better outcome, diverse points of view. I'm very comfortable with that. Well, it depends on the weather, but I usually like to start with going to the farmer's market, grabbing a late breakfast, heading outside, whether it's just enjoying our parks or hitting the beeline. We have great trails all over the community. I like to play golf, believe it or not. I'm not any good at it, but I like just walking around and hanging out with friends.